Okay, so this entire video is inspired by a young lady that I saw on the Steve Harvey show. It was a number of years ago, and she was dating this guy, but I think it was somehow long distance dating or something, but they weren't together. They were dating, but they were not together in the same town or city. And she said that he was talking marriage, but and she wanted to get married, but she didn't want to get married. She didn't want to stay in the same house with him. She wanted to stay in her house and have him stay in his house, and they could you know, meet up whenever they wanted, and whenever they are already doing what they're doing, each of them go back to their house. And she posed a question to Steve Harvey and the audience to ask whether that's something that would work, or whether that's a possibility. I guess she was thinking about it. She thought about it for quite a while, and then she kind of posed it as a question. And the entire audience went like wild and was like, "Oh my God, who do you think you are?" That was the reaction. That was the general reaction. And Steve Harvey himself was like, "How do you think that's gonna work? You live in your own house and you expect the man you're married to, like your husband, to also live in his own house." And she was like, "Yeah, but we're gonna see each other anyway. It's not like we're not gonna see each other. We're gonna see each other most of the time. But we each live in our own houses. What's wrong with that?" And the general consensus in the audience was like, "That's not a possibility." And people were saying, "What do you think he's going to be doing while he's in his house?" And all that. Okay, so my thing is this: why is that not a possibility? If she has decided as a grown woman that she wants that kind of relationship. She wants to be married, but at the same time live in her house while her husband lives in his house, and they meet up to live their life, to do whatever they want, but they're not staying in the same house. Why is that not a possibility? Um, and the excuses that were given, that what do you think that he's gonna be doing while he's in his house? If a man wants to cheat on you, he's gonna cheat on you while you're sleeping while you're sleeping in the same bed. We all know that that happens. It's not about where he is. It's just about the man himself, his character, and what he wants to do. Um, I'm talking about this. I'm bringing this up as an opening to this video. Yesterday, I made two videos about being the outcast. And because I'm talking about relationships, these are the kind of things that I'm talking about. We've been programmed to do relationships and to do dating in a certain way. And in the Western world, it's like, you meet at a restaurant, do this, blah, blah, blah. And then when you get married, you live in the same house and all that. In the Islamic world, a man can marry up to four wives. And there are spectrums of relationships that exist. But I'm mainly specifically referring to heterosexual relationships with one man and one wife, one man and one woman. And I'm talking specifically to women. As the outcast, you are naturally like this young lady. You're gonna have different a different viewpoint of how you want your relationship to be like. It might not be the way she is thinking, but you may want a different kind of relationship. And why is that not a possibility? We have to understand that we've all been programmed, like I said, we've been programmed to do relationships in a certain way. Think about it, there are 7 billion people on the planet, out of which, let's say, half or more than a half are adults. How is it possible that all of us uh, end up moving towards being in a relationship in the same way? It's an impossibility. And if you are the outcast and you by nature, you think differently and you see the world differently, and you've always been like kind of misunderstood in that way, it's because you are different. And there are no rules. There are no rules for you. Who gets to say that you can only be in a relationship, you can only be in a relationship with a guy, and you have to stay in the same house, and you have to do things like the normal way of everybody, the way everybody's doing it. Who's to say that? We've forgotten that all of these things are programmed. All of these things have been written long, long ago. And the world is changing right now. The world is changing. Um, we are moving into a new age. We're moving into the Aquarian age. We're already in the Aquarian age. And now with Pluto in Aquarius, it's even much more all right for you as the outcast to be exactly who you are, and to do your relationship and date the way you want to date. Do not succumb to the patriarchy. Do not succumb to the current way of dating. That's why you are fed up with dating. It's not the excuse. Most of the women that say they're fed up with dating, when you ask them why you're fed up, why they're fed up, they say, "Oh, because there are no good men. I'm tired of going online and talking to different men, and you know going on a date and nothing comes out of it, and what they think is the issue is not the issue. The issue is that you are fed up of doing dating the way society tells you to date. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're fed up of hiding who you truly are, because as a woman, when you're dating, as evolved and as advanced we are, there are still certain restrictions and rules on women. There are certain things you cannot say on a date. That's also another thing. You cannot tell a man that you're dating that you slept with more than, I don't know, 50 men or 100 men or whatever. You're supposed to give him a number. It's all going to cater to the man. It's all going to cater to the patriarchy and the way the woman is supposed to be, a certain way. And if she's not that way, then she's not marriage material, they call it, or or she's not worthy. But is that really the truth, though? Is that really the truth? That if you slept with more than 3 men, um, that you're not worthy? That's bullshit. That's the first thing. Uh, is it true that you're not worthy? Worthy of what? That's another bullshit. But women have had to hide their true selves and pretend to be someone you're not throughout the dating phase and throughout the relationship phase. You're supposed a lot of women have had to hide what they really want. Most women don't even know exactly what they really want because they haven't really tapped into that part of them. That's the outcast, the part of them that's weird, the part of them that's the crazy one, the part of them that they've suppressed because society says that this part is unruly, it's unstructured, it's disobedient, and we don't want to see it. So this is the reason why um, this is one of the reasons why you're fed up with dating. You especially if you're an outcast, you're going to feel it much, much more than someone else who can pretend, um, you know, um, for a time. With you, it's going to be very hard for you to pretend, because for you to being true to yourself is the most important thing. It's the most yeah, it's the most important thing, and you're not willing to give that up. You'd rather be single than give that up. So if you are dating or you're being in a relationship and you have to hide certain parts of yourself because it is seen in society that these parts, if a woman shows these parts of herself, and it's not just sexual in terms of a woman's sexuality, but also in other areas. If a woman shows these parts of herself, or if a woman acts a certain way, like even to the point of now with this wave of, you have to be feminine, you have to be this and that, you have to look a certain way to attract a certain kind of man. Is that really the truth for you as a person? You want what you want, and you are who you are. And what society says is what is supposed to be, it's not necessarily going to work for you. And it's not necessarily what you might be attracted to. You might be a tomboy, but you still want to be with a guy, a masculine guy. Does that mean that you cannot be with a guy who's masculine, who just because you're a tomboy, a tomboyish kind of woman? These are the kind of questions we have to ask and the barriers we have to break now, and get back to understanding fundamentally that the way we date has been we've been programmed to date like that. It's not natural. It's not natural per se that you know it's not like God, the masters of the universe said that, oh, okay, everybody has to be in a relationship with just one man and one woman, and they have to live in one house, and you have to do these certain kind of things, and have kids and go. And everybody has to be the same way, and if a woman asks to live in her own house and be in a relationship with a guy who lives in his house, that's an abomination and this and that. No, you want what you want and you are who you are. And you have the right to do your relationship the way you want to do it. Because your relationship is your own personal business, it's your own personal preference, and it's going to exist in its personal space, not in the space of society. So society cannot tell you how you do your relationships. Whether it looks weird to society, which it's gonna look weird if you're asking for um, a relationship that's seen as unconventional, it's gonna seem weird to other people. But does that mean that you have to give it up? No, you don't have to give it up, especially if you're the outcast. And I keep coming back to that. It's very, very important for you as the outcast to nurture this part of you. You're always going to be the outcast. If you've been the outcast since you were young and you felt it viscerally and the people around you knew that you were the outcast, you're always going to be the outcast. In whatever space you're in, that's the area you're going to thrive in. So separate yourself. Be comfortable being different. It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be difficult, as you start doing that. Um, But the fulfillment you're going to get from doing things your way is going to be unparalleled. You cannot do things the way other people do them. You've tried. You've tried. If you look back at your life, you see that you've tried. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out for you like that. It didn't fulfill you. And so what else did I want to talk about? Being in a relationship. Yeah, you're likely going to want to be in a relationship that's unconventional, or you're going to want to be in a relationship in a different way, or you're going to want to date in a different way. Like you're going to want to do things differently. Let's say one small thing that is it's not really frowned upon, but in certain circles it still is. As advanced as we are, for a woman to approach a man, um, it's still frowned upon. But as the outcast, you cannot cater to society. If that's what you want to do, then by all means, that's what you do. You cannot cater to what society says that this is how it's supposed to be. Because all the excuses that society comes up with, well, if a woman approaches a man, then that gives the man the upper hand. Is that really true? That's not true, because you just have your boundaries, have your standards, and if you see any signs of him not being the man um, that you want, then you make a move. You don't have to sit there and take it just because you approached him first. You don't have to feel that he has upper hand. That's what I'm saying. All of these things are these associations that we've created. If a woman approaches a man first, that means the man has the upper hand. No, all of these are associations that we created that have nothing to do with each other. They are independent events. A woman approaching a man first, that's an independent event, and a man thinking that he has the upper hand and acting that way, that can happen whether a woman approaches him or not. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's one example. Be in a relationship the way you want to be in a relationship. Do not get discouraged thinking that you're not going to have that man. Trust and believe that the way you are, there are many, many men that are like that. If you have a yearning to be truly yourself while you're dating, which means going out and being completely vulnerable and being completely authentic about who you are. Yeah, it's gonna put some men off, but those are not the men for you. If you go out on a date with a guy and you tell the guy, if you happen to have that conversation, and you tell the guy, yeah, I slept with more than 50 men, or I don't know, 100 men or 150 men, and he takes that as something that he cannot deal with, then that's his problem. That's not that's not your issue. That's something that he cannot handle, and that's fine. Then he's not for you. There's another man who's gonna be able to handle that. Who's not gonna see that as a big deal or as a problem or as an issue, and make you not make you believe, but um, have this belief that if a woman can only be so sexual. So what I'm saying is that as the outcast, you just have to be, you're gonna have to be different like you always were. And yeah, because we've all been programmed, some men are not going to understand that. But trust and believe that there are men who are also outcasts, and they will appreciate that much, much more than the regular woman, because you, at least you're authentic. You're true to yourself, and your truth shines through. And that's what's important to you. And the man you're gonna meet, that's what's gonna be important to him too. And he won't need you to hide, and you're not gonna hide anyway, because you're not gonna take that. You're not gonna stand for that anymore. Um, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say today. I mainly wanted to talk about dating and why so many women are fed up with dating, and they think they're fed up because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, but it's not that. It's because they're tired of dating the way society told them to date. They're tired of hiding who they truly are, and they want to do it their own way. They want to take charge of it, and to take charge of dating and being in a relationship means you have to do things differently. You have to, yeah, you have to take charge of it. You can't leave it to dating apps, which is what has been the way, that's been the old way. Now dating apps are saturated because now we are getting into a new wave, into a new kind of dating, where the woman, especially the outcast, she will take control of her relationship, which is what it's supposed to be. It's your relationship. So you're supposed to take control of it. You're not supposed to leave that to the dating apps and society telling you that this is how you're supposed to be in a relationship, and then you go and sit at a date, on a date, and lie to the guy and tell him that, yeah, I only slept with 3 men, knowing that that's not true, just because you wanna look like the nice girl or look like the proper lady. See what I'm saying? It's all going to cater to the patriarchy and going to cater to the man, and I have to be a certain way to look. And what kind of life is that? That's what kind of life is that, where you cannot be yourself, um, where your personality cannot even thrive. Your personality cannot even thrive for fear of uh, the man you're with judging you. And this is why so many women have given up on dating. And they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it's not worth it to them. It's like saying, okay, I have to go through all this pretense, pretending to be somebody I'm not while I'm dating. And then when I get into a relationship, I have to pretend that I don't want this and I don't want that. Oh, I'm just a nice little girl who doesn't ask for anything and who doesn't do this and who doesn't do that. And then the man that I'm dating, by default, he's also going to be pretending because you are pretending. So you're going to attract somebody who's also pretending and hiding. And we're not going to stand for that anymore, especially as outcasts, as women who are outcasts. We are going to take charge of the way we want to date. And the price we have to pay for that is risk being called whores, Jezebels, um, what's the other word? What are the other words? Whores, Jezebels, prostitutes, which is the same as whores anyway. And I don't know, all the other words that, some men are gonna call you that. But majority of the men, surprisingly, will appreciate you for being honest and for being truthful and for being authentic. But we cannot attract these kind of men in relationships until we become fully authentic and take charge of our dating and romantic lives, which yes, it goes against the patriarchy's way of doing things, of dating, because the woman is supposed to be the one that's being chased, and the woman's supposed to be the one that's like demure and wait for the guy to make a move, and that's okay. You can still be that, but if you're not getting the guy you want, and because the guys that are going to approach you, the guys that are approaching you are not the guys that you want, then it's not wrong for you to do it differently, for you to take charge of it and take charge of the whole process, take charge of the entire process, and still be the lady, still be a woman who enjoys being catered to by a man. So all of these, it's not a paradox. We made it a paradox. It's like you can't be the person who takes charge of the dating and everything and still be a lady. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. You can be both. All right. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Um, um, I think so. Yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. It may not have come out the way I thought about it in my head, but hey, it came out the way it did. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna make another video again, maybe tomorrow. All right. Okay. Have a great evening wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.